Well, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. So today's lecture is going to be on the notion of sentence and preposition. So these are levels of abstraction. In the antecedent videos, we've talked about the notion of the utterance, and we've said clearly that an utterance is basically the spoken form of a language, or the uttered speech. Before we start, I would love to have this sort of visual mutation inside our brains. So linguists in the branch of semantics, they do distinguish between two main types of semantics: lexical semantics and sentential semantics. Lexical semantics basically deals with the meaning of words, while sentential semantics deals with the meaning of a sentence. But we are mainly interested in the second type, which is sentential semantics. The course syllabus, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be as follows. So we will tackle the notion of sentence and preposition in terms of characteristics. What makes a sentence, and what makes a preposition, a preposition. Then the analysis of the preposition, and lastly, the valency theory. First things first, a sentence, it expresses a complete thought. So, example, Joan broke the window. This is a complete thought, a sentence that evokes a complete thought. If I say, broke the window, then it's not complete. The thought there, it's a fragment of a thought. We say it's a part of a statement. So a sentence, it should be grammatically correct. So correct. The given example, me love Joan, is quite vague, doesn't have a structure. It's not grammatically correct. That is to say, who loves who is a sentence itself about love. So the preposition, a preposition is the semantic core meaning of a sentence. Example, Joan broke the window. The window was broken by Joan. These two sentences, the first one is in the active form, the second one is in the passive form. So both the forms, they tackle or they indicate one essential meaning, which is Joan broke the window, which is a preposition. Not, once again, preposition, a pure preposition, because we still need to remove some things in order to get the preposition. A preposition is variable. We can tell if it's true or false. Granny has arrived. So Granny might has arrived and may not. It can be negated. A preposition, it can be negated. Granny has not arrived. Well, in other studies, some linguists, they do say that if a sentence, we can make out of it a question, therefore it's a preposition. It has a preposition, to be exact. The analysis of the preposition now. So what are the procedures that we should follow during the analysis of the preposition? So we are to define the argument and the predicate. How? By removing the inflection. What are these inflections? Inflections can be either tense, auxiliary or suffix ed, eng, or modality. That is to say, modal verbs, might, could, should, etc., and the list goes on forever. Example, the boy was finished. So if we want to extract the preposition, so we are going to remove the auxiliary was, which indicates past, and the suffix ed, then what we are left with called proposition. The boy finished. So the boy is an argument and finish is a predicate. After we defined the argument and the predicate within the sentence, we should determine the syntactic function of both the element. So the boy here functions as a subject, finish as a complement. It completes the meaning within the sentence itself. Then lastly, we provide a semantic rule. That is to say, who is the agent, who is the affected, and what is the instrument. For example, Anne hit the boy with a wooden stick. So the agent here is the doer doing the action. In our case, Anne is the agent. She's the one performing the act of hitting and bludgeoning the other boy. Well, very horrific, don't imagine the situation. The affected here is the boy being hit. So the affected is the entity that undergoes the process of being hit. The instrument is the utensil used in our scene crime here, which is the wooden stick. The last part of our lecture, ladies and gentlemen, is the valency theory. Basically, it's about the power of the proposition. So we indicate the number of arguments accompanying the predicate. For example, Joan